Good morning, friends. Welcome to online study in Sri Digambar Institute of Technology, Bhandaraj Mode, Dosa. This is JP Yadav from Electrical Department. Today's subject is electromagnetic waves. Today's my topic is waveguide. We discussed about waveguide in last sections. What is waveguide? Types of waveguide, working principle of waveguides. So we introduced to rectangular waveguides. Rectangular waveguides are the one of the earliest type of the transmission line. It is a part of the transmission line. Waveguides are the parts of the transmission line. Rectangular waveguides are also part of the transmission line. They are used in many applications. A lot of components such as isolator, detector, attenuators, couplers and slotted lines are available for various standard waveguide band between 1 GHz to 220 GHz. So we can use these components in isolators, detectors, attenuators, couplers and slotted lines. A rectangular waveguides support TM, transverse magnetic and transverse electric TE modes, but not TEM waves, because we cannot define a unique voltage since there is only one conductor in a rectangular waveguide. The shape of a rectangular waveguide is as shown in flow diagram. A material with permittivity E and permeability M fills the inside of the conductor. A rectangular waveguide cannot propagate below some certain frequency. This frequency is called the cutoff frequency. So, a certain frequency is required for the waveguide. The following equation and image describe electromagnetic waves inside both rectangular waveguide and circular waveguides. Overall, waveguide equations are not included due to the mathematical complexity. The lower cutoff frequency for a particular mode in rectangular waveguide is determined by the following method. So mode, TE mode, TM and TE mode operates in rectangular waveguide. TEM mode not operate in rectangular waveguide. So in waveform, these are rectangular waveguide. In rectangular waveguide, TE mode, magnetic field and electric field both are present. They are parallel to each other, perpendicular to each other. Red lines show the magnetic field and blue lines show the electric field. Both are perpendicular. And TM mode, electric and magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other, but the movement of these waves are different, like TE mode. What is the panel of a conducting surface? If actual velocity of wave is Vc, wave velocity is Vc, then the simple trigonometry show that velocity of the wave in the direction parallel to conducting is Vg, the velocity normal to the Vn. So in figure, incident wave and reflected wave and normal velocity. Theta is the incident angle. So Vg and Vn is normal, Vc incident, Vg is reflected waves. Parallel and normal wavelengths. Distance between two successive identical points. Distance between two successive points. Successive creates or successive throw. in the figure, it is seen that the waveguide in direction of propagation of wave is lambda, being the distance between two successive creates in the direction. Parallel and normal wavelength. So the distance between two successive points in the direction parallel to conducting plane is lambda p and wavelength perpendicular is lambda n. Then lambda p equals to lambda upon sine theta and lambda n equals to lambda upon cos theta. Vc incident velocity is f lambda. So we can calculate Vg equals to Vc sine theta and Vp calculate f lambda p equals to Vc upon sine theta. Vp is phase velocity, velocity with which wave change its phase. Phase velocity means velocity with which wave change its phase. Vg is group velocity, velocity parallel to wall. Parallel plane waveguide. What is? In order to wave to propagate in a waveguide, there should be no voltage at the walls. Because walls are purely conductive, if there exists some voltage at walls, the wave gets shorted and there will be no propagation of waves. So voltage variation in waveguide is almost similar to the transmission line. Waveform of voltage in transmission line in showing is like a sinusoidal waveform in a reflection mode. So dimension of waveguide can have following values such that voltage at walls will be 0. Cutoff frequency. What is cutoff frequency? Waveguide can support many modes of transmission. Waveguides can support many modes of transmission. Our microwave textbook will tell you about this, but we don't really care. The usual mode of transmission in rectangular waveguide is called TE10. The upper cutoff wavelength for this mode is very simple. Lower cutoff frequency is C upon 2A. C is speed of light, which is 29.979 centimeter per nanosecond, and A is dimension of broad wall in centimeters. So frequency in calculated in gigahertz. The upper cutoff frequency is exactly one octave above the lower. We tell you do the math on this. The lower cutoff by now it's time to another microwave 101 rule of thumb. Guide wavelength. What is guide wavelength? Guide wavelength is defined as the distance between two equal phase plane along the waveguide. Guide wavelength is defined as the distance between two equal phase plane along the waveguide. The guide wavelength is a function of operating wavelength and the lower cutoff wavelength, and is always longer than the wavelength would be in free space. There is equation for waveguide wavelength. So lambda wavelength is equals to C upon F into 1 upon under root 1 minus C upon 2AF का whole square. Guide wavelength is used when you design distributed structure in waveguide. For example, if you are making a PIN diode switch with two shunt diode spaced 3/4 wavelength apart, use of 3/4 of a guide wavelength in your design. The guide wavelength in waveguide is longer than wavelength in free space. This it's not intuitive. It seems like the dielectric constant in waveguide must be less than unity for this to happen. Don't think about this too hard. You will get a headache. Here is a way to imagine why this is. Picture yourself at Zoom bench in Malibu. The waves are coming in at an angle of the bench check out the interaction of wavefront with the bench. It is zipping along faster than you can run. Yes, it is apparently faster than the waves are moving if you look straight at them. Waveguides will only carry or propagate signal above a certain frequency known as the cutoff frequency. So, what is cutoff frequency? So, waveguide will only carry or propagate signals above a certain frequency known as cutoff frequency. Below the waveguide cutoff frequency, it is not able to carry the signal. In order to carry signal, a waveguide needs to be able to propagate the signal, and this is depend upon the wavelength of the signal. If the wavelength is too long, then the waveguide will not operate in a mode whereby it can carry the signal. As might be imagined, the cutoff frequency depends upon its dimension. In view of a mechanical constraint, this means that waveguides are only used for microwave frequency. Although it is theoretically possible to build waveguides for lower frequency, the size would not make them visible to contain within normal dimensions, and their cost would be prohibitive. As a very rough guide to the dimensions required for a waveguide, the width of a waveguide needs to be of the same order of magnitude as the wavelength of the signal being carried. As a result, there is a number of standard size used for waveguide as detailed in another page for this tutorial. So as the distance between the walls, two walls gap is a. Lambda n is the wavelength in the direction normal to both walls. M is the number of half wavelength of electric intensity to be established between walls, which is nothing but integer. So A can be calculated is m by 2 lambda n equals to m lambda upon 2 cos theta, and cos theta equals to m lambda upon 2a. Lambda p can be calculated lambda upon sin theta equals to lambda upon 1 minus cos square theta. Sin theta can be written as this. So lambda p equals to lambda upon 1 minus m lambda upon 2a का whole square. Space wavelength that is just unable to propagate in waveguide under such conditions. So cutoff frequency lambda node equals to 2a upon m. Lambda node is cutoff wavelength for dominant mode, m equals to 1 and lambda node equals to 2a. So a waveguide allows a signal having a frequency more than cutoff frequency, so a waveguide acts as high pass filter. Waveguide work as a high pass filter. The lowest cutoff frequency can be calculated through fc equals to 1.5 into 10 raised to power 8 under root m upon a whole square plus n upon b का whole square, where fc is lower cutoff frequency, a and b as waveguide measurements, m and n integers indicating the modes. So this is a part of numerical. Calculate the lowest frequency and determine the mode closest to the dominant mode of rectangular waveguide, which dimension is 5.1 cm and 2.4 cm. Calculate the cutoff frequency of dominant mode. What is dominant mode? TE10. So m equals to 1 and n equals to 0. A and B equation are given, so fc equals to 2.94 GHz can be calculated. Mode closest to dominant mode can be determined by substituting m and n values. M equals to 0, n equals to 1, then fc equals to 6.25. Mode change, fc equals to 12.5, m equals to 0, n equals to 2, we get fc equals to 12.5 GHz. For m equals to 2, n equals to 0, we get fc equals to 5.8 GHz. As fc 5.8 GHz in TE20 is close to fc. in TE20. Therefore, mode closest to dominant mode is TE20. Although the exact mechanics for the cutoff frequency of a waveguide vary according to whether it is rectangular, circular, etc. A good visualization can be gained from the example for a rectangular waveguide. This is also the most widely used form. Signals can progress along a waveguide using a number of modes. However, the dominant mode is the one that has the lowest cutoff frequency for a rectangular waveguide. This is mode TE10 mode. The TE means transverse electric and indicates that the electric field is transverse to the direction of propagation. TE10 mode. It is possible for a number of modes to be active, and this can be cause significant problems and issue. All the modes propagate in slightly different ways, and therefore if a number of modes are active, signal issue occur. This is therefore best to select the waveguide dimensions so that for a given input signal only the energy of the dominant mode can be transmitted by the waveguide. For example, for a given frequency, the width of a rectangular waveguide may be too large. This would cause the TE20 mode to propagate. As a result, for low aspect ratio rectangular waveguide, the TE20 mode in the next higher order mode, and it is harmonically related to the cutoff frequency of the TE10 mode. This relationship and attenuation and propagation characteristics that determines the normal operating frequency range of rectangular waveguide. So rectangular waveguide cutoff frequency formula can be calculated. Although waveguide can support many modes of transmission, the one that is used virtually exclusively is the TE10 mode. If this assumption is made, then the calculations for the lower cutoff point becomes very simple. The cutoff frequency of a rectangular waveguide can be calculated using the formula Fc equals to C upon 2A. The cutoff frequency can be calculated Fc equals to C upon 2A. Fc is rectangular waveguide cutoff frequency in Hz. C is the speed of light within the waveguide in meters per second. A is the large internal dimension of the waveguide in meters. If the worth nothing that the cutoff frequency is independent of the other dimensions of the waveguide. This is because the major dimension governs the lowest frequency at which the waveguide can propagate. So what is the wavelength, what is the rectangular waveguide we discussed in, and the rectangular waveguides are the one of the earliest types of the transmission line. It's a part of transmission line. They are used in many applications. A lot of components such as isolators, detectors, attenuators, couplers and straight lines are available for various standard waveguide bands between 1 GHz to about 220 GHz. A rectangular waveguide supports TM transverse magnetic and TE transverse electric modes, but not transverse electric magnetic waves because we cannot define a unique voltage since there is only one conductor in a rectangular waveguide. The shape of a rectangular waveguide is as shown. A rectangular waveguide cannot propagate below same certain frequency. This frequency is called the cutoff frequency, and it's operate in TM and TE mode, transverse magnetic and transverse electric mode. And we discussed what is cutoff frequency, how can we calculate the cutoff frequency. The waveguide can support many modes of transmission or microwave text. The Also, waveguides can support many modes of transmission. That one that is used virtually exclusively is the TE10 mode. If this assumption is made, then the calculation for the lower cutoff point becomes very simple. The cutoff frequency of a rectangular waveguide can be calculated using formula Fc equals to C upon 2A. So, thanks for watching this video.